Hi there. Are you going to be going in for surgery? Well, I want to prepare you a little bit. Everybody is different. And I just want to tell you, if you're going in for CRS and HIPEC, the biggest recommendations are to put weight on before if you can. If not, that's okay. If you have extra weight, great. You can usually expect to lose some weight after the surgery, depending on what happens. How to get through it. Now, I'm not going to lie, the first few days are probably going to be absolutely miserable. Use those pain meds, use them as much as you can, but then start tapering when you're ready to, because if you have an epidural and then they just take it out and you've been using it to the max, it might be really painful. So if you start tapering yourself down, it'll be easier when you come off of the epidural. And I can't speak too much after that part because I'm a weirdo and lucky, and I had no pain when they took the epidural out. I didn't even need Tylenol. That is not normal, but hopefully that's your case. While you're in the hospital recovering, just beware that you may have tons of tubes and things coming out of your body. My worst part was the dang Foley catheter. I hated that thing. I had to have my bladder reconstructed, and that Foley catheter just kept getting clogged. And so if you have a catheter and you feel like you have to pee, you need to make sure you let the nurses know right away, because that means that it's not working and they need to clear a clog probably. But if you have a catheter, you shouldn't be feeling like you need to pee, because it should be draining everything on its own. For me, that kept happening and it was emergent, and it started getting painful. And because my bladder had been reconstructed, that was bad. They had to keep it flowing out. And so they had to go find a special machine to view my bladder, a bladder ultrasound, and see the clot. And they had to keep flushing the line manually, which hurt, by the way. Hopefully you don't have to go through that. But if you feel like you have to pee on a catheter, you need to let them know right away. That was the worst part for me, honestly, was dealing with that dang catheter. And I was sent home with that, and they wanted me to keep that in for weeks, maybe even months. I can't remember, but I was just absolutely miserable with that thing. And it got to a point where I begged. I called the urologist. I said, could I please get this removed? And because it was COVID, they weren't really bringing people in anymore at the time. It was the very beginning of COVID. So he had to tell me exactly how to remove it myself. Cut this, wait so many seconds, and then pull it out. So I had to do it myself. And I just grew so much throughout the recovery of that surgery. And I've changed so much mentally and physically. I've had to relearn my whole body, and just mentally, I'm a whole different person. I feel so much wiser and stronger mentally and physically than I ever have before. So that's one of the perks, is once you get through this, you'll never be the same. And that means that mentally, you'll never be the same person that you were. You can't, because you've been through so much, and you just become so much more wiser. And I encourage you to, a lot of people say they want to get through it and move on and not think about it, but I encourage you to use your experience and your strength to help others and give back. That's why I do these videos. It's just sad to me to think that people just want to move on and try to forget about it. It's just, so many people need the outreach and the information and the knowledge and the support. To me, that's really important. So I hope you find a way to give back to your community and help others that are scared and new. As you're recovering in the hospital, I recommend that you set goals. And I believe most nurses will do this for you. They'll set goals, but if they don't, set goals for yourself and make sure that as soon as possible, you get up and sit in a chair, number one. And it's not going to feel good. It's not going to be fun, but it's really important part of starting the recovery. And then after you've gotten through that part, start walking. And when they say you can, start walking. And if you feel you're ready to walk and for some reason you're not walking within a few days, ask for them to help you walk. Ask for a physical therapist. That was my case. I was begging to walk, but I was tapered to the bed with all of my tubes and things hanging out, and I couldn't get up on my own with all that stuff. It was just impossible. I didn't have a walker by my bed or anything. And finally, I said, I really want to walk today because I know with CRS and HIPEC, you're supposed to be walking pretty much right away. And because of COVID, I was in the wrong hospital. They had to move me. I was on the wrong ward. I was not getting the typical care that a patient like me would have received. And I just kept saying, I really want to get up and walk today, and advocate for yourself. And finally, the physical therapist from the hospital I was supposed to be in came over and got me up. I didn't get far because I had diarrhea so bad that she finally got me up in the walker, and I made it to my door, and I'm like, I have to poop. So I had to turn around. I barely made it back, just like 10 steps, but it was a big improvement. And finally, once I got over to the proper hospital and floor with the proper care team, the physical therapist was in there once or twice a day and helping me walk. And quickly, within a couple of days, I was able to get up on my own and walk around. And my advice with that is bring some anti-slip socks, because for me, walking in slippers just made me clumsy. They are not your feet. And I think they kind of increase your risk of falling. So my recommendation is anti-slip socks. They've always given those to me automatically every hospital I've been in, but bring some of those. And when you walk, I recommend wearing those because that's going to help your feet feel the ground. So you'll feel more grounded and have more control over your movements. That's just my advice. Some people like to walk in the slippers, but I actually tripped over them. The nurse got upset at where they were placed by my bed because I almost fell, and you don't want to fall, and they really just got in the way. So bring some anti-slip socks and walk in those, and I think they will help you improve quicker. That's just my opinion. So those are your first goals. Walk, walk, walk. And the more you start walking, for most people, it helps get the bowels moving, which is what they want to see so they can release you to go home. You're going to heal the fastest once you get home. And those are just the best tips everybody gives for healing quicker and simple goals to set. And there will be other goals too, like you'll start out with just ice chips and ices, and then you'll move up to different foods. But you can also set other little goals for yourself. Like today I'm going to get up and I'm going to wash my face at the sink. Whatever they may be, whatever little goals you have, really they're huge, and celebrate those. Just make sure you set little goals to keep yourself focused on going forward while you're in the hospital. And I wish you luck and quick healing. Bye.